Hello, it's Monday, March 30th. We're back for Poem of the Day. My poem for today is by Maya Angelou, and she was just a really amazing person. She died in 2014, but she lived a long life. She died at the age of 86. She was a performer, a poet, a memoirist. I actually read her memoir in my junior year of high school English class one of her memoirs called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And she writes such powerful stories about her own life, but also poetry. And she writes in a really accessible way, which I think is really nice. And I see that in her poetry as well. And so she was a civil rights activist. She was friends with James Baldwin and Malcolm X. She was another inaugural poet. She was Bill Clinton's inaugural poet. And that poem was called On the Pulse of the Morning, which is another one of her famous poems. But the poem I'll read today is probably her most famous poem. It's called Still I Rise, and I'm just reading it from this collection of her poems. But it came from her collection called And Still I Rise that came out in 1978. And so I first read this poem my freshman year of high school in my English class. And I just think it's great, and I really like teaching it, and I think it's just a really awesome thing to hear someone being so unapologetically themselves. And for Maya Angelou, that meant being unapologetically Black, being unapologetically a woman who's gonna speak up for herself. So it's called Still I Rise by Maya Angelou. You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with a certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise. Did you want to see me broken? Bowed head and lowered eyes, shoulders falling down like teardrops, weakened by my soulful cries. Does my haughtiness offend you? Don't you take it awful hard 'cause I laugh like I've got gold mines digging in my own backyard? You may shoot me with your words, you may cut me with your eyes. You may kill me with your hatefulness, but still, like air, I'll rise. Does my sexiness upset you? Does it come as a surprise that I dance like I've got diamonds at the meeting of my thighs? Out of the hut of history's shame, I rise. Up from a past that's rooted in pain, I rise. I'm a black ocean, leaping and wide, welling and swelling, I bear in the tide. Leaving behind nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daybreak that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing the gifts that my ancestors gave, I am the dream and the hope of the slave. I rise, I rise, I rise. So I hope that inspires you a little bit in this difficult time. And thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great Monday.